The idea for Train came about as part of a challenge in Module 1, where the theme was, as long as we have each other, we'll never run out of problems. At the time, the idea felt like it had potential to be an engaging product. Of course, that feeling wasn't grounded in any research, and after the challenge was complete, I didn't explore it any further. This module, I've revisited the idea. I've had the opportunity to validate my assumption that people would want to use the app through several rounds of user research and testing. In the first wave of user research, I found that people used social media to keep themselves motivated to exercise. They would post about their workouts to celebrate their progress or to compete with their friends. Strava was mentioned on several occasions as a platform to share exercise logs. I carried out some competitor analysis on Strava and found that they used their clubs, challenges and segments to create a global community of runners, hikers and cyclists. Several of my interviewees told me that they found training and chatting with a gym buddy to be therapeutic, so I opted to have Train focus on facilitating more engaging interactions between friends. I've included receiving a notification in this section of the flow, but a user would be able to see their notifications and respond to a party invitation from any page. You'll notice that the open invitation is on a timer. The intention here is to keep the invitation window brief, so the process of inviting and waiting for friends doesn't become a blocker to the user's run. In a future iteration, I'd like to give users control over how long their invitations stay open. A recurring theme in my research was that paired workouts are most effective when the participants' goals for that session are aligned. I've addressed that notion with the goal tag system. In the current format, goal tags are selected or written by the user to display their current running focuses. They're visible to other users in the invitations and from the friends list. When user testing a later iteration of this product, one participant thought that goals should be measurable and suggested that the user could be rewarded with points once they had achieved their goal. This presents an interesting challenge to explore in the future. Given that the points have monetary value, i.e. they can be spent on ticket discounts, I'd have to be sure that the system wasn't exploitable. I wouldn't want a user to set their goal as run 1 metre and then farm points, for example. I came up with a party system for remote running parties after my first wave of user research. As we've seen already, users set their goals and invite their friends receive a notification, and if the goals line up, they accept the invite. When an invite is accepted, the users are automatically put into a pre-run lobby, a conference call for the session where users can discuss running form, motivate one another, or just have a chat to distract them from the discomfort of running. When the run starts, the microphone toggle button expands to take up a large portion of the screen and the bottom nav disappears. That's so the microphone toggle is as easy as possible to find, even if the user's in motion and they have their device on an armband, for example. I explored the ideas of always on and hold to speak microphones. If the users are breathing heavily from exercise, being able to mute the microphone felt particularly important. Then one interviewee said that they'd want to hear their friends' heavy breathing. The visceral aspect of hearing their friends training hard would spur them on. A toggle button is a simple solution that supports both use cases. After the run, users see a post-run breakdown. Part of this is the point summary. One testing participant suggested adding a gifting mechanic here. If you were particularly impressed with a friend's effort, you could send them a few points. I'd like to explore this idea, but again, I'd need to ensure that the feature isn't exploitable. There could even be some kind of regulation around trading pseudocurrencies that might apply here. When the user has earned some points, they'd head over to the tickets section. This is where users can purchase new train tickets and access the tickets they've already bought. In my early iterations, this section just covered the process for buying tickets, and once they completed a purchase, the virtual ticket lived in a separate section of the bottom nav labelled Wallet, along with the user's points balance. However, when I took that version of the prototype to user testing, most users were tripped up by having two interfaces related to tickets in different places. Users have since found the new navigation structure to be much more intuitive. Before completing a purchase, the user can set how many points they'd like to commit to their discount. In my user research, several users reported using specific means of paying for their train tickets out of convenience, even when cheaper payment methods were available. Here, applying a discount is an optional step, so users still have the convenience of quick purchases, even when their points balance is at zero. Another theme that appeared in my research was routine. People generally buy the same ticket regularly, especially if they commute via train. Letting users save tickets as favourites allows them to fast track the buying process, making their commute that bit more streamlined.